What's up, everybody? Well, today I'm here to do another full house cleaning to test vacuum cleaning performance. Today I thought I'd go ahead and feature my Rainbow E2 single speed. Yep, this is the one with the single speed motor. It doesn't have that low speed for air purifier function. But I thought I'd go ahead and do this to show what the cleaning performance would be like with an E2 black power brush. Yep, this power brush will work on even the 1-speed E series, just as long as you run the specific hose. And as you can see right here, the connection is exactly the same, so it plugs in just fine. It's a very tight connection, I will tell you that. But the reason why you must run the specific hose is, let me pull this off the end and show you. But the connector is actually a male connector end, and it's obviously a quick disconnect. If you look over at this other E2 single speed, this is actually a parts model. But as you can see, this has a recessed male connector, and it's not disconnect. As you can see, this one is the one where you got to plug in the little cord in to the handle in order to get power to the power brush, which that's the original PN2E. But in order to run a PN12 style power brush on even a 1-speed E2 or a regular first version E series, you got to run the E2 black specific hose. But let's give you a walkthrough of the machine. The reason why I have this along with the hose on my possession is I'm actually repairing this for my aunt who owns an E2 black. I have a video on it, and I will link it in the description box in case you want to see the video of that. But to show you this power brush, this is the bottom design. Now, what I found out is there are actually 2 versions of the PN12. There's actually this first version, which has the long, very wide belt, flat belt, that goes right down the center, just like the PN2Es do. But there's also a later version, which moves the belt from the center off to the side by one of the rotating side brushes. And that's the ridge style belt. For any of you who are looking for belts for a PN12 and not know which version you have, this is the easiest way to tell. The PN12s, the first version of PN12s, and let me make sure I got this off so I can show you. You gotta unlatch all these guys. Let me see if I can pull this off in one piece. But seriously, this is the first version with a long plastic belt. Well, actually a long flat belt, I should say. And that's what it looks like. The side belts would have moved it off on this side right here. Let me make sure I got the brushes not caught on the bottom's plate here. All right, I think that was good. See, this one, it just latches on the bottom like so. Then you could take a flathead screwdriver and move this little locking tab. Let me see if I can do it with my nail. Ugh, I'm not, but anyway, this is that little locking tab that you got to push over, and it'll lock it in place. Actually, that will just prevent the latch from unlatching in other ways. But anyway, brush roll design. Very narrow brush roll. This is probably not even a 10-inch cleaning width. And one fun fact, these PN12s have much better airflow than the PN2Es do. Mostly because the PN2s have a very flat portion right here where it slows down airflow before it gets to the upper part of the wand and through the hose. And so this one has a much larger opening, so you don't have that issue. But Rainbow, for whatever reason, or Rexair I should say, they decided to redesign the power brush to give it better airflow, but they wanted these edge cleaning brushes on each side that you can see as the spinning power brush rotates. These actually slowly rotate with it and pull everything to the inside of the brush roll to where it's swept away and sucked into the water bin. And they actually do a fairly decent job agitating, even with how soft they are. And the bristles on the brush roll are soft to medium stiff. They are extremely worn down because this is a daily use machine. And it is a bit dirty. And I will sorry about that. I don't feel the need to replace the brush roll because all they needed was just a belt replace. And replacement brush rolls for these PN12s are not cheap. I mean, my cost is almost like $70 for this brush roll, mostly because it comes with new gearboxes for the side cleaning brushes. That's what drives up the cost of these things. But I do like the design of this brush roll, mostly for the fact that this is actually the first Rexair designed brush roll to come with a headlight. You see, the old ones actually never came with one. All they had, older models especially, had this little red indicator to let you know that the brush roll is on. Eventually, as productions of the PN2Es went on, they did away with that LED light, but then they eventually came out with this awesome design when they made the E2 Black model. And I think I have blabbed on so long for like approximately almost 8 minutes, so now let's just cut to the chase and get what you came to see. Full house vacuuming with the PN12. Alright. The water bin is all filled up. Now let's go ahead and set the motor unit on the water bin. Latch it down. And everything's all plugged in and connected. So, let's get going. That's how the motors sound on these single speeds. They don't have that jet engine wind up. So, let's go ahead and get going. Tell you right here, this PN12 makes very nice carpet lines. Of course, since this is the first version of the PN12, it does have the obvious center mark of shame, just like its predecessor, the PN2E. Doesn't have as much of aggressive agitation, unfortunately, as the PN12. But even these side cleaning brushes definitely do a good job of adding on the carpet lines. And they definitely do a good job pulling dirt off to the side and into the center. So let's go ahead and continue on. Well, full house cleaning is all complete. I will say, I do like using this PN12. Honestly, have it here while it's getting its repairs before I bring it back to my aunt is giving me a chance to kind of live with it, see what it's like to live with it, actually. Even though this is on my 1-speed, this thing is very easy to steer. It's much more maneuverable than the PN2E because you basically twist the handle left and right, nothing happens. This one swivels much more easy. In fact, it's the first rainbow power brush to not only come with a headlight and edge cleaning brushes, but it's the one to have a steerable neck, which is very nice, which makes this thing much more agile and easy to maneuver. And even though the agitation on the brush hole isn't as high as the PN2E, this thing does have its ups and downs. I do like on this specific hose, it has a little lockout up here. When you're holding the trigger, you could just pull this up and it locks the trigger on, so you don't have to basically hold the trigger down, which puts fatigue on your hand. I do like that. The older ones don't even come with that feature. And in fact, the trigger on these goes the entire length of the handle. As you can see, that one, the original E-Series single speed is just a tiny little trigger. It's not even like a gas pump style one. And I'm interested in seeing the results because I watched a lot of other vacuum collectors that actually do vacuum testing, and they test suction and water lift tests and all that. And from what I've heard from them, the E2 single speed has the most powerful motor. It's even more powerful than the 2-speed E2 Gold, E2 Blue, Silver, Platinum, and E2 Black. And all on top of that, the PN12 has the most airflow to the power brush. So we'll see what all this means once we take the motor unit off and see what this guy picked up. Okay, this is just fantastic. Look at this. I usually like to wait about a week until I vacuum, but this is truly fantastic results. I think most of this is just mixed up pet hair. I do like on the E-Series the way the water churns around the bin. It doesn't gather the hair in just little clumps. It kind of large clumps. It kind of scatters them all around the bin. And this PN12 has much better airflow than the PN2E, like I have mentioned. So you guys can be the judge of if you think the PN12 is a better overall power brush than the PN2E. I say they're both good in their own ways. This one is a little bit more futuristic and comes with headlight and a swivel steering and edge cleaning bristles, but the PN2E definitely has better agitation, although not as much airflow. So let me go ahead and dump this guy out and we'll conclude the video. All right, well, everything's all back together. My final thoughts are this will make an excellent cleaning combo. For those of you who have an old single speed E-Series and want the modern PN12 power brush, you can run it on this, and it doesn't matter which one you buy. Cleaning performance should be exactly the same. And having the more powerful single speed motor, this definitely improved cleaning performance quite a bit, I will say. So if you can find one PN12 cheap on eBay, you can do that, but just be sure you buy the specific hose setup. But now I hope you enjoyed this full house cleaning of the Rainbow E2 single speed with the PN12. Be sure to stay tuned and don't forget to like, rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.